even though there perhaps is room within, even scope within those markets to promote them. But definitely a lot of the ISPs come and talk to us, and a lot of the different sort of broadband and TV providers definitely do, because of course they say they're hungry for content, but also in the same sense the market's closing down. People are gradually getting content, and they're getting it from the big companies, they're getting it from from the big corporations, they're getting it from Universal, they're getting it from Warner Brothers, and I think that's where we've got to...
Yeah, I mean, Tracy, surveillance, which obviously probably feels more like the content that would go on a PSP or an Xbox. Did you think about exploring?
No, we didn't, because we
sponsors or
we tied up with Nokia in pre-production, and they gave us the handsets and stuff, and they gave us a PowerPoint presentation where they told us how they were going to put all this money into tying our film in with the N95 and da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and it was all incredibly exciting. So we were kind of tied into them, and then basically the woman left and the man left and the marketing budget went haywire, and you know, all of this...
What were they offering you?
Well, I mean, apart from the handsets, which is nothing really, we could have got them for somebody else. I mean, they were going to put flyers in all the boxes of the new phones. They were going to put, you know, point of sale advertising in Carphone Warehouse, and they were going to, you know, do all this kind of stuff. So in a way, we had tied up with what seemed like an ideal commercial partner, because the product was in the film was about that kind of product, and it was all sort of, in fact, I mean, we sort of kept on thinking, when's this going to go pear-shaped? And eventually it did when the marketing budget was cut.
All right.
So by that point, we were so far down the track that, you know, we weren't going to be talking to, it was just too late to deal with other people. So, I mean, I think it was really unfortunate, because, I mean, I think that if they had followed through on what they promised to do, it would have been a huge amount of marketing.
And Andrew, do you think there's a link between the Xboxes and the PSPs and the film industry and television industry?
Yes. I mean,
are they talking to each other?
Oh, well, no, I don't think they talk to each other very well, because they come from different they live in silos, don't they? I mean, that's the problem. But there need to be more forums which bring them together. But I've got a client who, you know, film industry, he's very successful, quite well known, but he's been willing to be led. We've sort of said to him, you need to talk to so-and-so, and he doesn't have any experience of these agencies that are reviewing. He doesn't know anything. He said, but, you know, okay, sounds good, you know. And he's willing to be sort of, you know, taken down that road and just sort of forget what he knows already and just and sort of go into this kind of new world, which is I think the way.
So this is much getting into the new world, isn't it? Because we met Nokia because we were at a documentary festival and they were doing a thing there, and we spoke to them and we said, oh, you know, this is exciting. We've got this film. It's all about phones, and they got all really excited. But I mean, if we'd gone to somebody in Nokia head office, they probably would have gone, oh God, we get all these people all the time. You know?
Did anyone at Nokia suggest the idea of promoting a trailer of your film through their mobile phones?
Yeah, I mean, it was on the web. I mean, that trailer was on their website. It was going to be with the phones. The film was going to be distributed with the phone. You know, there was going to be this whole sort of deal where basically you bought the phone, you got the film, and the finances of how. So in a way, it would have been free. But obviously we would have worked out a way to get paid in some way from them. So I mean, there was this whole sort of strategy about basically distributing the film with the phone. I think the phone actually was not a good phone, and that's why...
Richard, I'm just going to take another question from the back, just because we're running out of time, and then we're all going to have a drink and have... There was another question at the back. Oh, sorry. Oh, go on. Yes, it's you.
We've gone past it, but no, I'm just going to say about the whole American attitude. I went to Sheffield earlier in November, and there was a similar online distribution debate there, and the majority of the panel were American film distributors and salesmen, and the whole tone of the debate was completely different to this, and I went to the Battle of Pixel as well, it was a completely different tone.
We're much further ahead.
Exactly. They were just so defensive, and obviously they're trying to protect their industry and their culture of how they're selling films at the moment, but it was just totally... If you hadn't been to any other seminar, you would be convinced that we are still trying to get... we still need distributors, we still need to get films into cinemas in a traditional model. I just think it's interesting to see how we're now taking on these different kind of ways of doing it. Actually, it is working.
Yeah. Well, it's great to have case studies here as well.
Definitely. I've been doing it as well myself.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think that's a really nice note to close on, actually, and I sort of feel that there's some further conversations to be had, not necessarily on a public forum, and probably everybody's dying for a drink. I was just wondering, have Four Eyed Monsters sold a DVD since we've been online? No. Anyway, I'm sure they will. Huh? They sold 2, but that's the support. They didn't sell a DVD. Yeah. So thank you all to our panel. Thank you so much. We can entice you for a drink before you leave us. But thank you very much. That was really appreciated.
Thanks for joining us here on the CineCity podcast. Visit www.cine-city.co.uk to view or download this year's full programme, book tickets and receive up-to-the-minute festival news. You can also subscribe to the podcast while you're there to make sure you never miss an episode. The CineCity podcast is created in association with Director's Notes, the weekly film podcast dedicated to the what, how and why of independent filmmaking. Find it at directorsnotes.com.